Wow! Yes, boys, yes. We're doing mole today. And I hope they're not moles. That wouldn't be very convenient of them. Moles being, you know, obviously of the female kind, or even just the bloody, what would you call it? Some kind of ground nesting sort of rodent. Anyway, boys, the point is, they're not moles at all. In fact, seemingly, they're human beings who have a penchant for writing blackened shoegaze. Apparently, they're from Denmark. Bloody... They're off the ice cream and the cheese on this album, let me tell ya. Woo! Because they open up this album like it's a bloody can of beans or something. It just spills all over the bowl that is my oral comprehension. What has really surprised me thus far this year is a slew of different blackened post-metal shoegazy acts that have entered the fray, and how much they are influenced by contemporaries such as Alcest or Death, Heaven, fucking. Not to mention an assortment of post-rock bands. I could mention quite a few, but they're all one and the same, and I'll get to that point later on anyway. And speaking of influences, I would even argue there's like little traces of Gojira influence, like on the self-titled track. Sorry, I just got hiccups. Like on the self-titled track, Jord, in its first phase, and just how the drummer rides the tempo and the lead guitar follows in rhythmic chuggaroos before the two can join with these double kicks and some spicy Gojira licks. That also happens to be the best part of the song, by the way, just in case you were wondering. So yes, instrumentally, there is a lot of ground covered in this record, yet a lot of redundancies to go with it. There's dissonance and distortion bleeding through the fiber of the leads, and if not that, then they are drenched with the wettest of reverbed and delayed texturing, boys. And they just whirl like fucking whirlpools, I guess, with some genuinely infectious motifs in a lot of songs here for sure. And that's not to say that they stay stagnant in redundant tremolo-picked melodies. There is a demonstrable flow and progression to every song, both instrumentally and compositionally, and a variance in what they choose to plaque. Every transition and progression flows into one another with the smoothness and consistency of butter, or me when I talk to women at the club. Nah, I'm shit at talking. You know how I talk to women at the club? Oh yeah, so who are you? What do you do? No, I'm joking. I'm not that guy. I'm not that guy. I just make jokes at their expense. No, but honestly, the fact that I could point to any song here to demonstrate the cohesive quality of this record shows just as well the consistency found in the transitional movement of this record. In terms of variation in songwriting here, there is very little instrumentally, yet a lot stylistically. This can be exampled in many of their songs, just like Ligament, for example. A track which switches from high-octane black metal, howling banshee screams and blast beats into a considered, ambient, post-rock, mellowed out fucking banger tune, mate. And then there is the interweaving of the two, with the double kicks writing the climax of this song with definite power. I must admit though, as soon as I hear those shingly, bright, tremolo-picked guitars rustling about like on Lambda, I'm spectacularly bored. I'm not even drunk, mate. I'm not even... Because that song is exclusively post-rock in stylization, a particular style, I should clarify, has been done to death by 1,000,001 bands. It just peters out, leaving a bitter taste in my mouth, and feels somehow lacking in unique or original artistry. Honestly, I could extend a lot of those feelings toward any other instance where those post-rock influences come bubbling back to the surface. This is obviously more of a personal thing, but I genuinely think that most of those tremolo pick guitar leads that are so bright and shingly are just so predictable, and therefore as a result, fucking dull, boys. On the subject of negatives, there were some tamer progressions like the climax on Virga, or at least more predictability to be had. And by harmonize, I mean how they can sometimes follow the melodies note for note, thereby acting more as an extra texture, an extra instrument than a standalone center point element that it could otherwise be utilized as. See, I only do one take. I don't fuck. That's not exactly the point of this blackened shoegaze. I understand that, but I'm just saying this album would be better if those Banshee House boys had something unique or interesting to offer in more of their passages. And to be fair, there are a few moments where they do, like on Broomer, a real standout track, and just how those tempos switch and the weight of every progression somehow doesn't feel manufactured. In Vacuum or Vacuum, whatever you want to call it, as well, the vocals are similarly powerful and evocative, boys. And honestly, generally speaking, the vocals could be so much worse. Like, they're actually really, really good, all things considered. Yet so much of the enjoyment of this record stems from feeling engaged to the instrumental passages. Therefore, as a result, I fucking find it hard to enjoy this record a great deal, as I felt like I've heard all of these progressions before, despite the seemingly unique cross-section of influences and potential for different blends. Just like a fucking tea, mate. For one thing, I thought that the black metal phases were executed very well, and they grabbed my attention the most, even if they didn't contain intricate instrumental aspects. I still appreciated the aggression and power wafting through the cloudy days of this record. Other people listening to this album, however, very well might enjoy pretty much every aspect here, to be honest. After all, I found Deaf Heaven's Sunbather to be boring for pretty much all of the exact same reasons as this one. And especially the new Rollo Tomasi album, even though that's unique in a lot of ways, it's still that fucking boring post-rock instrumentation. Just fuck off. It's so... Ah! So yeah, my criticisms here aren't exactly unique to this album, and I wouldn't call them a mainstream enough opinion either. But yeah, this just did not click with me as much as I wanted it to. The post-rock tropes just rustle my jimmies. Still though, I have to re-emphasize this is still reasonably enjoyable and a lot better than a lot of music out there. This is honestly probably on the top of this subgenre, especially in the past couple years. This must be right up there. So I feel a bit dirty saying so much negative shit about it, considering just how good it is for a debut album in terms of skill, in terms of the transitional movement, etc., etc. There are a lot of amazing aspects to this album, but just not for me. Therefore, fucking bleep. Fucking, oh, look at that. Oh, look, it says 3.3. It doesn't actually, it's just a random bottle cap. Fucking, I'm not the Joker over here. No, Harvey Two-Face. I'm fucking just a bloke drinking a beer, alright? So, 3.3. And, yeah, just take it easy, lads. And, yeah, I know I fucking will, so, yeah. Finished the Saturday night shift, having a beer, going to my mate's place. It's his birthday. Fucking, yeah, boys, I'll catch you later. Wow!